Hello, everyone, and I hope your day, evening, afternoon is going well. Um, there's just a few things that I wanted to, or were being nudged to bring forward, and one of them is a little short message from Quan Yin. And other than that, this is really a call to light workers or heart workers, love workers out there, but light workers in particular, really, because it's about shifting some of the stuff on the planet. So what I've been noticing and being witness to, as well as experiencing, I have to say, is lower body pain for sure. Different places, hips, knees, ankles. Yeah. So many people are talking about this lower back stuff as well. And so really when I looked into this and questioning why there were so many, and we've gone here before actually, we put out a call one other time about why there was so much of this going on. Anyway, this time having a look, because I've been carrying a bit of this for a little while now and I'm sort of tired of it. And in my work is cellular memory, and so I went in to see what emotional stuff might be there, and there's no emotional stuff connected, but every time I questioned it, it was that I kept getting earth. So one of the main things today, and is a very easy thing for us to do, is to become ungrounded. It always has, really, and a lot of the time we move out of body is because we don't want to feel the density and we don't want to be immersed in the emotion and the pain of that emotion. So oftentimes we scoot out of body a bit, to be able to cope, really. And so this is a bit of that, but also it's very important for us bringing in and activating the light body, our higher body, is that we are here to walk that here on this planet. And so this is a call to be present in the moment around your grounding, your earthing. Are you really earthed here? Are you earthing yourself in? And are you feeling, because when you're not grounded and you're not earthed in, we become very foggy in the mind. It's hard to make decisions, can be hard to make decisions, just to function actually in our everyday life here on the planet, in our physical world. So when we are earthed in and grounded in, we're centered, we're aligned. There's a firm foundation that we're standing on, and therefore it's easier for us to find direction, to know exactly in what it is we're feeling, and to be able to deal with it in a whatever way we deal with it, whoever we are, and whatever way we do that. But it's a lot easier to do that when we are actually grounded in. So when I went and had a look into why there was so much pain going on in the bodies, and the lower body was not functioning as well as it might be and at other times, what I was shown was us basically standing in this muck. Now I'm still working my way through this, so but I'm just putting it out there because I feel like it's needing to be sort of worked on now, or cleared now. And so in looking into this, what I was seeing was that we're basically standing up to our sacral chakra. Some are waist up, but basically from our waist or sacral chakra down, we're standing in this, what is looking to me like this thick black tar. Now, when I felt into it, yes, it's fear. It's got to be fear. That's the base of those sorts of energies and that type of muck, in a sense. But what this came through was that it was from basically impacted and compounded more into from what was already, already our fear-based stuff that we've all been running and course clearing. So many are clearing, but there's still a lot that are running these old programs, which isn't, a judgment in any way. It's just a thing. It is happening. That is what is. And that is that when we came into the lockdown, when COVID hit the planet, it was like, and we all went into, the whole planet shut down. Remember the first lockdown we had here in Aotearoa? It was the world went into lockdown. So there was a huge stop, like it just, everything was stop. So what I see here is that there's still a huge amount of people, or a lot of humanity is still stuck in the stop. So what happened with that, and because this COVID stuff has created all this, there is so much going on the planet. And what's happened now is that there isn't a future to look forward to as such. People are not seeing where to from here. They're not, there's nothing that they're seeing that they want to invest into, go into, move themselves forward to, because this virus is around. And if we move too far out of our comfort zones or our barriers, our safe zone anyway, we could be infected, we could die. There's lots of narrative, lots of stuff going on. So the main thing is that we're stuck in the stop. And what I keep getting is that was to actually put a call out to Lightworkers to start clearing this muck from around the lower bodies and off the planet, you know what I mean? So that we can start moving forward with free movement, not taking a couple of steps and getting into that, oh my God, I don't know where else, which will become clearer as we clear this, as we clear more and more of this. It'll become easier to step forward. It'll become easier to see where we're heading, and knowing, if you do know yourself as a creative being and you know that you create your world, then what are you actually creating in your world at this moment? What is it that is driving you, if anything? Is it from and in the old world system? Is it that you're getting caught up in, all the narratives, all the battle, I think is what I want to say. And I understand that we are wanting things to change. We're, looking at how do we change that? We change it by voicing, by standing in our truth, by saying enough's enough, and moving ourselves into more of that stance, because we don't like a lot of what's going on. Some are fine with it, some are absolutely okay with it, but others that have looked into or dived deeper know that there's an agenda here. And whatever the story is for you, find out how you feel about it, like actually feel about it. Because until we see things for what they really are, and yes, sometimes our story, or like we only see from where we're standing. So I might be standing here and I see it in a completely different way to where you might be standing here and you see it this completely different way. So of course it is whatever it is for you. But when we have a look at things and we're actually really honest about the way we feel about them, then we can do something about that. If we're looking at it, we've got fear and we're trying to shove it over here, park it up like I say, or shove it under the carpet somewhere, or sweep it over into that corner and pretend like it isn't there and pretend like I'm not scared of that, then it's not going to go away. It's only going to push more into and for you to look at what you're fearing. So it's time to clean up a lot of the fear going on around this, and there's so many healers out there. There's so many people that can help and assist with that type of thing, and releasing this and switching you from fear to love. So there's a heap of really inspiring healers and intuitives out there that could give you a hand in doing any of that. So reach out if you need to, but it's really important for us to look at it in a really truthful light, know how you really feel about it, process the feeling, and come to a space that is motivating you or moving you forward in some way. Because until we process that stuff and that muck within self, we are not going to move forward. You just won't. It's not going to. You'll just keep getting the same thing coming round. And also, when we think about or feel into or know ourselves as being those energy vibrational beings, one of the things that we will really require to do with that is to be conscious of your emotional bubble, yes, but your energetic bubble. So knowing that when you move out of your home and your space and go out into the street, we're walking through other people's energy bubbles. We're walking through their energy conscious aware states. Whatever that awareness is, however they may be brilliantly aware or really, really in a coma, whatever that state is, they're carrying program, they're carrying emotion, they're carrying information in their field. Now, you are passing through, say we pass through somebody else's field, we can be picking up on their emotion. And I know empaths, there's a whole huge amount of empaths on this planet, and you will be picking up on all of this all the time. And as it's got deeper and denser, as much as it's got lighter, it's got a lot of density too. And a lot of people have been moving a lot of their programming out, but they've also been still playing in it and not moving it out. So there's still a huge amount that are running this fear, that are confused about where they're heading, about what life's come to now, about the people around them also, because there's so much dropping away. And every week, every month, maybe your awareness may be changing. So it may not be staying the same as what it did, 2 years ago. It's always evolving. I feel that's what we do. We're always evolving. So therefore, our belief systems, our ways, and our awarenesses, they're all changing with us. So we may not feel the same as we did yesterday, today, of course. We're going to have different days, different energy, different experiences, and different emotional stuff going on. So it's really, really important to be aware of what the emotion is. And one of the other things that is very sort of really stepping out right now is less tolerance. So many people have no more tolerance for, there's no tolerance for anything really, a lot of it. So there's explosive energy sort of all over the place, and sometimes more than others, obviously. Full moon can sometimes really bring that energy out in a lot of people, and so therefore it's a matter of paying attention to what you're being triggered by, what you're allowing into your energy field to alter your thoughts, to alter your feeling state. What are you allowing? And to clean up too, like when you come home from being in town or being at work in a three-dimensional realm for the day, and you're quite an open, conscious, aware person, cleanse your body, cleanse your energy self, and get clean again. Come back to you. And eventually what happens is we can be in the world but not of it. And therefore that state of one, where we come into that state of oneness and unity, it's a unified field which does not have any conflict in it. So you can walk through this world bulletproof to what's going on out there. And it's not that you're, ignoring, or you're trying to pretend like it doesn't work, or it's not happening, or it's not, I'm not seeing that, I don't want to know. It's that you're purely aware of it and wholeheartedly aware of it. But you also can recognize that you're observing it. There is no emotional connection to it. It's not your stuff. So you don't have to absorb it. And so the more you can come into the awareness and realization of who you really are, like really connect to you strongly and wholeheartedly, knowing every aspect of you and accepting and loving every aspect of you, then you're going to become far more bulletproof and immune to a lot of what's going on, not just the virus, but the emotional roller coasters out there. Because a lot of people are suffering. There's a huge amount of suffering. And as much as empaths do not want to be leaders and don't like to be leaders, we actually need more of the empaths stepping forward as leaders, to help the world through this, to help humanity through this. So as much as it's very difficult for empaths to ride these waves of emotion and all that's, everything that's happening out here, it's that we are, calling out for the empaths to really step up if you can. And again, there's a lot of, healers. Myself, I was an empath, I still am an empath, but I have an emotional sort of balance now. So therefore, I know I can assist others way better than what I could when I was, in the mess sort of thing. So there's a lot out there that'll be able to help and assist if you need that. And don't be shy to ask for assistance. Honestly, it's important for us to really connect with others now. Even though we might be getting told to isolate, we still need to be connecting energetically in heart and finding your tribes. If it's online, find them. Find those communities of people that are the same as you, that have the similar belief systems and understandings, and where you're not feeling so isolated and alone, because that's almost the killer, really. So seeing things for what they really are, and then we come into an acceptance, and that acceptance then brings a letting go or a dissolving of the connection we have with it, because we realize too that your part in it might not be as you thought it was, so you're not just so deeply involved in it, and you come into a space where it's a lot more free, and you can serve better humanity in whatever way you do, because you're not emotionally roller coasting. So that's something to be aware of, and in particular, like we're saying about your energy bubbles, just really be aware of who you're connecting energetically with, and who you're and what you're bringing home, what you're taking home, what you're allowing into your body, and whether it's whatever it might be, just whatever it might be, you are the one that's responsible for that body. And so therefore it's up to you as to what you allow into it, and that's energetically as well, not just physically, not just, I want to go with the V word, so just whatever, however it works for you, whatever it is that you don't want or you just do not desire in your field, then make sure you cleanse yourself of that when you get home, or when you're get some time. Make it a priority and check often, because we really need more of this cleared and cleansed off the planet. There's a lot. I was feeling a strong wave of like nausea kept sort of hitting and moving through me quite often. I'd feel, gosh, I might be hungry, and often when I'm hungry, I might leave it way too long sometimes if I'm busy, to feed myself, and then I actually start feeling quite ill. I can feel quite sort of nauseous, and I know I need to eat something, as well as yawning because my fuel's running down. And then you can eat something and still have these waves of nausea. So the nausea for me, I feel that's also a big part of the downloads. It's part of the shifting that's happening in the body, and our body moving with the waves of light. In a sense, it's almost like when we're out on the sea, it was sort of like that, like a little bit of seasickness, motion sickness. So there's a lot of symptoms that are happening with the ascension stuff, or descension ascension stuff, and nausea being one of them that's been quite sort of here now. So I sort of want to say don't worry about that too much, because it will pass, and I can feel it sort of passing now. So in the intense light intakes, and this was all around the Lion's Gate, was the one thing that I did notice, was the nausea, and the waves of that was quite unpleasant. The other part to this too is around Quan Yin. And Quan Yin came in when I was getting the nudge to do this little talk around the density on the planet and how we need to sort of start clearing it out. And Quan Yin popped in, and she just stood a wee way over, and she just said, just mentioned to bring, it's time now to bring compassion back onto the planet. And I'm not saying there's none there, and she's not saying there's none there either, or here. It's just that with what's going on out there, there's so much judgment. People are turning on people all over the place. Like, if you don't believe the same thing as that person over there, or that person over there can get quite ranty to your belief and what you believe in. And we just need to really respect others, respect them and their feelings, their emotions, their thoughts and their belief systems. It may not be the same as yours, but that's okay. Everyone is different. We've always been that way, and now is no different. I know there's a lot of fear around the harm that is happening at the moment to humanity. And I know for myself, there's times, and particularly when the children are now starting to be targeted, I found myself going into real anger around that, like real rage. There was a definite response in my body around that. And, I just wanted to get on the bandwagon. I wanted to get out there and to protest and to say what I needed to say about it. But I also know I am doing that in my own way. And this is the thing, we will all find our own way of doing that. So even if somebody doesn't have the same belief system as you, and I know that this is separating families, I know that. And for me, this is all very sad at times. When I connect into it, it is very sad. And I have a lot of compassion and empathy for the world and what it's experiencing at the moment. But I also know that, when COVID first hit and we sat in our lockdown, and the world stopped, it did stop. And that was a beautiful thing. It was just such a beautiful thing. And to watch how our Papatūānuku, our Earth Mother God, Gaia, whatever her name is that you use, here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, it's Papatūānuku. And for me, when I saw Papatūānuku absolutely just healing and recreating herself well from damage we'd done, and it was instantaneous. And so for me, when that happened, that was something I've always said to everyone. We don't need to do anything for her. She is already an amazing, brilliant, absolute amazing healer and galactic being. She has all the ability to create herself the way she wishes to create herself in any given moment. So we don't actually need to do anything other than if she asks us to assist her, which is what we do. And it's never with ill intent if we are trying to help her at all. It's always through heart and love that we wish to, and that's okay. But really, she doesn't need it. She is sitting in her perfect body her perfect state for her. And what we do is we judge it and say, well, actually, she needs this and she needs that. We don't know really what she needs, honestly. And she will always heal herself as instantaneously if she needs to. So what she's doing is she's sitting in allowance. She's sitting and allowing us to do what we need to do to learn what we need to learn. And this is what we need to do for everyone else on the planet at this time, is allow them to be in their own perfect place and time, learning what it is they need to learn that is perfect for them at this moment in time, and get out of their way. So it's pick your battles, I suppose, is the thing as well. Pick your battles. Because whatever energy you put into anything, you're empowering it. So if you're putting your energy into, I don't know, like we've seen things like, the war on drugs, and what happened. There's more drugs now than there ever was before we started the war on drugs. And that is because energy is put into the drugs. It's being put in, directed into it. It's growing. It's just made it become bigger and had more life force in it because we've all empowered that. Whoever put that energy into it has empowered it to be there more. The same as the war on guns. I mean, let's look at that even. I mean, that's growing because energy has been put into it. So wherever you focus your energy and whatever energy you're putting into anything, you're empowering it to be there. You're giving it your power. So be very, very mindful about that and know what it is that you really want to empower into this world and what you don't want to empower. So anything you don't want on the planet any longer, don't put your energy into it, because you'll only create it to be there longer and in a bigger mass. Like you're growing it when you put your power into it. So the best place that you can put your power is into you. The best place that you can direct it is into your future and what you wish your world to be. I know you might hear this all the time, but it's you are the creators. And if we don't have something to look at, to head towards, what are we doing? We're staying in the stuck. We're staying in the stuck. We have to have something to look to. So it's look at your life, look at what your world's doing and around what you're creating. Have you even been creating anything lately? Are you actually creating anything? Are you stuck in the stuck? Even light workers, love workers, heart workers. Are you actually productively creating something in your world that's benefiting you and others? Or are you fighting the battle? Are you fighting the fight and encouraging and empowering more of that fight? So bring more compassion. Quan Yin's request is to bring more compassion through us and place it here on the planet. Spread that compassion. And when it comes down to it, it's follow the path of love. This is what I'm seeing is lacking around on the planet today, because everyone, like I say, there's a lot of judgment out there. There's a lot of battle up, and I know it's to figure out what we're doing and figure out how we can get through this and how we can stop this and that and all the rest of it. I understand all that, but where is it getting us? And I know we might look like we're getting somewhere, and I do feel that we are. I feel the light has won and all this will dissolve, but it will if you pull your energy out of it. Whatever it is that's mucky up there and you're empowering it, it's not going to go away. So be mindful, like I say, around that, and to just really, really understand who you are and what you want your life to look like. Who are you creating you here? Like, what is it that you're creating? Everything that you do is a reflection of who you are. It's a reflection of who you are. And that's where like for me in this present moment, I know that the healers are going to be required. More and more, there's healers that are going to be needed out there. And, and it's like the health departments in that system are overloaded. They cannot cope. There's so many people that have done that system and they're not interested anymore. They want alternative ways of dealing with their health. So there is a huge calling now for all these empaths, all you light workers and empaths to bring yourselves into the place of service, and in particular the healers, because there's a lot of illness and we see it everywhere, and the lockdowns, they are creating a lot of mental health, unwell. So there's lots and lots going on, as you all know. I know you're all immersed in it. I know you see it. I know that you're all concerned about it. I know that as heart people, we're called to it. So I get that. I understand that. But what really is the best way in that calling? What really is the best way? So it's just a matter of sitting with it and pondering on it and feeling into, because I know when I go into the battle, I feel like I'm, sort of doing something. But when I'm in there, it doesn't feel right for me. It doesn't feel right. I do not wish to feel that battle up feeling within me. I've done my battle. I've had my battles all my life. I don't choose to battle anymore. And I know that if I truly create my world, which I know I do, and I see results of that every single day, every single moment in my day, I am creating that space and that stuff. And so I see it every day. And it validates everything that I'm putting out there, everything that I'm doing. And ask for or create, because I'm not asking for it, I'm creating it. I am that creator. So therefore, I know deep within me, with every cell, every core of myself, the core of me knows that we create our reality. Where is your reality? What is that reality for you? And is it productive? Is it bringing you your best life? Or are you sitting waiting now until all this is over before you start deciding what it is you want? Because if that's what's happening, then you're going to be sitting there pondering that for a long time, because you'll just be on that train that's waiting for the junction turn and it's not moving because the junction turn hasn't turned up yet. So it's getting yourself into that space of realizing that you maybe don't have to play in that field if that's where you're playing. If you're playing in the battle, if you're becoming unwell by it, if you're finding that it's making you very sad, if it's creating anger, if it's creating all these, I want to say lower, denser emotional playouts, then what is the point in that? What is the point in that? So if anyone needs to, yell out. It can help you through some of the cellular memory stuff and clear some of the emotional wounding and clear the fear base and, all of that, the ancestral lines that have created some of it as well, and clear a pathway for our children, because these children have come in here to help us create a new world. They're not interested in this crap that's going on at the moment. They do not want to be in it, and we've brought them into it. We created it and we've brought them into it. I mean, they decided to come in, obviously, but we're the ones that birthed them through. So it is our responsibility also, and I know parents know this, in creating a world for them that's safe and secure, and that they have a right to have health and well-being. It's their birthright. So it's for us to actually, really do what we can, and I understand where people think battle is what we need to do, and voicing up, obviously, voice and stand in your truth, yes. But if it's taking you off track, if it's creating dis-ease and illness in your body and your mind, then you need to disengage. We all need to disengage if it comes to that point for us in that. So a call to all the light workers to clear the density that I can see sitting around, and if anyone else looks into it, I'm sure you'll all see it sitting there, and that is creating a lot of lower body pain and discomfort. To just be able to help shift some of that off the planet, that would be really awesome. And just remember compassion. Just and you know, the law of acceptance and allowance is to be able to allow everyone to be where they need to be, learning whatever it is they need to learn. It's not our business. If they don't do it the way we do it, it's none of our business. None of our business. So I know how hard that can be. To sort of, it feels like you're stepping away and we don't care. It's not about not caring. Of course we care. But energetically, if you understand energy, you'll know that that's not productive. It won't be productive because we're just creating more of the same. So it's finding the compassion and the joy in your life again, in whatever way you can. Find whatever joy you can get out of life, honestly, and start living a life more of joy and gratitude and that compassion for sure. And just walking the path of love. Be love, because you are love, and just express it. And you know, even to those who might be yelling at you over the fence or at the next demonstration or whatever, just, you know, shower them with love. Shower our governments with love. You know, really shine it out there, and, you know, zap everything with light. Truly, you are light. Use it. It's time to really use it now. And again, this isn't generalizing and saying everybody's not doing that, you know, that nobody's using the light. I know there are lots and lots of light workers out there doing very well and all of those things. But yeah, this is just a call out to clear some of that density that's sitting around. That is that, you know, stuck in the stuck. In that stop. So there's still a lot that is stopped and they're not moving forward, and it's about moving something, getting some momentum rolling. There is something, I feel it's like, I feel by the time we get into October, we've got more of a clear space ahead of us, and that there'll be a lot that's rolling out over the next, this month particularly was very big in sort of highlighting some things that have, you know, created a bit of a shift around the planet and in the system, and on as far as truth goes. But when I feel into September, I can feel, you know, that being 9 months, and the 9 is completion and ending, birthing into new, which is October the 1st. 10 being a 1. And so there's, you know, for me, I can feel there's because it's like it's building, and then we're going to, you know, create a bit of a domino effect in letting this light really roll through and shift a lot of stuff. I feel there'll be almost like a miraculous turnaround, but we will not be in the same place we are now, and it won't be like we've gone back before either. It's going to be a completely new space and a lot of new productivity and you know, wellness. So remember your service here. And I know that brings responsibility, but you know, when I look up the word responsibility, it is being able to respond. That's all it is. We've labelled or taken responsibility as a big heavy duty thing, you know, it weighs us down. Whereas it's actually not. It doesn't have to be. It can be if that's how we make it, of course, but it doesn't have to be. It's just purely being able to respond. And we as you know, survivors here, we've always been able to respond. So we will continue to do that and step out of survival and into thriving, which is where we're heading. This is what this turn of events is. It's moving us out of that old programming of lack and separation state. And what you're doing is you're upgrading. And this upgrade requires us to let go. So don't be afraid to let go of whatever it is that you might need to let go of. Don't be afraid of doing that, because this is what's going to help you to move into the new for you. And, you know, your light, you are light and you are a bright light. And it's time now to really, really, really bring that into play. Clear the density, all that muck that's sitting around on the lower body of the planet and us, and just help humanity free itself up. So all the very best to everybody. So much love and compassion to you all, and keep loving you. Really keep loving you and spread that love around the world. Be the light in your world. Much love, everyone.